Welcome back. Egypt is investing in Egyptians, and to introduce to the Egyptians a better health service is one of the priorities we have. There are a lot to speak about regarding this, but today we are going to mention a leap, a breakthrough. The Spanish medical company Grifols, in partnership with the Egyptian National Service Projects Organization, announced that the first plasma medicines produced with Egyptian donations are already available to be given to patients. Well, to shed more light on this, we are very much delighted and honored to have with us via phone Dr. Awad, Eddin, Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs. Thank you very much for being with us, sir, and a very good morning.
Good morning, and thank you very much.
Sir, before going into details, let's just give a brief idea what's plasma. It's this gold-colored liquid, which is about 50 or 55% of the blood parts, and it's responsible for or having a big job regarding proteins, regarding blood coagulation, you name it. Before going into details, plasma derivatives as a kind of medication, is it life-saving?
Good morning. And as you mentioned, blood, the components of blood are the plasma, which is the main component, and the main component of plasma is water.
Yeah.
And then we have the cells, we have the red blood cells, red corpuscles, and then we have the white blood cells and the platelets, etc. Mm-hmm. But plasma is carrying all the vital components of the blood. Mm-hmm. In plasma, there is many components, which is very essential for maintaining the life and maintaining the main vital activities of the human being. Mm-hmm. And now there is many components from the plasma, which is very essential for treatment of certain diseases, and also important for prevention also of diseases. And some of these components, which is extracted from plasma, is used for treatment of, for example, one of the components of plasma is the albumin, human albumin. Mm-hmm. And this albumin is used for treatment of any deficiency of proteins, including albumin. And this is one of the manifestations of some disease. Mm. And then we have many factors, many blood factors also present in plasma. And another important factor is immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins is one of the components of plasma, which is very important for prevention of some diseases. All the components of plasma, which is used for treatment, which is very essential and very important for basic treatment of some diseases, was imported from abroad.
Yeah.
This project, really, it is under the patronage of His Excellency President Sisi, and we have a very long negotiations with one of the important international companies to export, to have a factory for manufacturing all the essential components of plasma in Egypt. Mm-hmm. It is imported with millions of foreign, for example, dollars or euro, etc. Now we have a manufacturing site will be established in Cairo, in Egypt. And we collect the plasma in many centers in Egypt under international good manufacturing.
As far as I know, more than 20 centers for collecting plasma, true?
We have many centers, but now we established a few of them, and every month we have a new center for collection of plasma.
Sir, with the same techniques, with the same equipment, very well equipped as the one in Barcelona?
Okay, already we started in some centers here, as I told you, under the good manufacture practice, which already with international standards, either the equipments and also the training of the personnel at these centers.
As you've
And
kindly
then,
mentioned, sir, it's used in cardiac surgery, treating burns, liver diseases, hemophilia. I mean, also part of genetic diseases, meaning that we are going to meet all the needs of our local market. And then we are going to have another leap or another step on the right track to be the source of plasma derivatives to Africa, to our African allies or African brotherly nations?
yes, after establishment of the company or the factory, we will export this plasma. And this is the agreement between the Egyptian company, at least, and the Spanish one.
Yeah.
But the first step, we export the collected plasma to the factory in Spain, and then now we receive the first product from Spain, which is albumin under international strict standards, because this is very important.
It is, sir. Sir, when it comes to donors and when it comes to the amounts of blood, do we have a problem in that, or now there is such awareness among the Egyptians that it's a must, or it's it's a life-saving issue to donate blood?
Yes, it is. It is a sort of donation, and now already, as I mentioned to you, we collect a good amount of plasma from the different centers. This is, as I told you, a part of blood components, and the other components of blood, the RBCs and the white blood corpuscles, is returned back to the body of the donor.
I'm asking this question, sir, because it was announced that the Spanish Griffith Company in Barcelona will receive more quantities of Egyptian plasma as part of the strategic agreement that was signed between the two sides. If you want to elaborate on that.
This is a partial step, because when we finish when the factory is finished, all the amount of plasma will be used here in Egypt, except if we have excess amounts which can be exported to the company in Spain.
Sir, when we know the Spanish medical company, the high-profile one, decided to have its factory here in Egypt and to sign this agreement with Egypt, this means that now we are in a very great or high position regarding the health service we introduced to our citizens with the national or presidential initiatives which were very much successful, for example, in eradicating hepatitis C. Is this the way we reached this international, globally well-known company?
This is one step in the health sector, because we have a very strict collection of blood, and the blood is very vital to the whole blood. And also we implement the national insurance, and then we have the different presidential initiatives, and it's when you have the complete system, including also the manufacture of highly sophisticated biological compounds, and also the treatment of cancer, and the manufacture of some APIs, which is the active pharmaceutical ingredients.
Yeah.
So that all of these, as you mentioned, and I told you, it is different steps to implement the best health services in Egypt.
And to speak, if you permit me, once again about, because this is very important, about the donation centers. As far as I know, and as you've kindly mentioned, sir, 6 already are running, but we are going to reach 20. Are they going to be scattered all over Egypt? I mean, of course, they are not going to be centralized in Cairo or the new administrative capital, but are they going to be scattered all over Egypt? And if yes, where?
Yes, this is absolutely right. The centers for collection of blood and is different from blood plasma, will be distributed all over the different governorates to give the facility the best and the total amount which is required to manufacture the plasma components.
I really was pride and honored when I read some of the statements which were released by Dr. Magdi Amin, the CEO of Grifols Egypt. He said, thanks to the generous donations of Egyptians, Egypt has taken a huge step forward in its vision to be a regional leader or a regional hub in plasma medicines and healthcare. This really means, which I really want to stress again, that we are all aware enough of the importance of blood donation. Or this is also the role of NGOs?
It is the role of the Ministry of Health, the role of the company, the role of health facilities, because if you explain to the Egyptians what is the meaning of that and what is the requirements from the collection of plasma, and it will be reflected definitely and safely for the patients and for the community, I am sure that there is a good response to this initiative.
In your opinion, sir, how much time should it take to turn Egypt into a hub for the production of plasma derivatives or plasma-derived medicines?
We are working for the last 4 years, and already we started, and already we have the first step in that. But I think we have a definite schedule for different centers and to finish the factory during the next less than 2 years.
Sir, also I'd like to shed more light, if you permit me, on the full cooperation and coordination among different state bodies and the private sector. You mentioned the Ministry of Health, the health facilities, the universities, of course, affiliated to the Ministry of Higher Education, and the private sector too. To what extent the full coordination and cooperation among all those institutions or bodies are working for the best interest of the Egyptian citizen and for humanity at large? It's not only for us.
I think already we started, and the plan for cooperation is already started for the last 4 years. And now we, as I told you, we are in the process of production, and we collected the plasma and they manufacture it, and we are in the final stage to end the factory, so that it is already established. And in the health sector, definitely the strict cooperation between different sectors are very important to succeed in any health project. Definitely all the components providing the health services in Egypt are definitely included in all of the health, including, for example, in the initiatives, including in the manufacture pharmaceuticals and production of plasma, and in every component of the health sector.
And we do have the qualified human cadres, those very well trained doctors to run all these facilities and to be all the time, coping with or equipped with the latest technologies, with the latest information and data regarding this field.
Definitely. This question is, maybe I tell you that we not require this question, because already we implement all the sophisticated health services, sophisticated interventions, manufacture of pharmaceuticals, and we have continuous training to implement any of the sophisticated industry or interventions in Egypt. Definitely we have the manpower, we have the understructure for that.
Dr. Muhammad Awad, Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.